I did some casts on my knees last week. I posted them on Instagram, and my friend took the videos and he just did a great job. The lighting was great. What I wanted to say about this is I was doing it with a stepped leader. It was one that I made, like 40, 30, 20, whatever, but it was getting knots in it, it broke. And anyway, it wasn't the best casting. The videography was great, but this is with a stepped leader. And so the rest of this video, when I'm talking on the riverbank, I'm talking about level leaders because that's what I use for practice, and they work good on these long lines. But if you're not liking the turnover you're getting, you might try to make a stepped leader, and there's plenty of recipes on the internet. Just use 20-pound mono for my leader. I use level mono. I don't worry about making a perfect step leader, especially for practice. I just use, like on this, I probably have 15 feet, maybe a little less, of level mono leader, and a piece of yarn. And with this is a Gale Force equalizer altitude shooting head that is you chop the ends off. I chop the back end down. They start off at about 80 feet and 1,236 grains. So I chop this down to, I've got it at 67 feet. This anchor looks a little crashy, but the placement is right where I want it for a single spey cast, way out in front of me with this longer line. All right, these casts are with a stepped leader. It was kind of messed up. I'm talking about level leaders, but the casts on my knees were stepped leaders that I made, and they weren't in the best condition. Nevertheless, these were kind of cool casts. Your longer spey lines, basically, you don't necessarily have to anchor just the leader. You can anchor a little bit at tip. And they cast good. I said all that to say, I'll post those videos. They're kind of cool. I've been casting in this ankle deep water, and I used to cast in a pond all the time I could wade out as deep as I wanted to. So I haven't been getting deeper water casting. Deeper, not the deepest. I posted on one of my Instagram videos that I was casting from my knees. I said I'm deep water practice, and somebody corrected me. Just for the record, that's not deep water. So, thank you. The idea was I just wanted to put myself in a situation to see if I could still cast in anything other than calf deep water. And surprisingly, when I got on my knees and started casting, I started having way better casts because I wasn't slipping maybe so many anchors, and I was maybe anchoring more of the fly line, and it was very eye-opening because I've been working a lot on keeping the bottom of my D-loop off the water, because I have a tendency to sweep too flat and get my hand out here, and then once you do that, you get all out of shape. And I want to, I'm cast. Another thing about those Instagram casts is I was casting up against the current. I haven't been able to cast right-handed without casting upstream. So I was pleased that they came off as good as they did. So now, instead of trying to sweep real fast and get my hands out here, kind of trying to sweep a little more like Geyer Hansen does, which is, you want to keep your hands in front, and I'm trying to trying to use more of my hands in the circle up, and I am circling up. It's more of a climbing curve for my sweep, because Bruce was scolding me about my V-loop not long ago. The whole thing is, though, I want to do whatever it takes to get that perfect anchor landing between me and my target. A straight, flat anchor that's going to come off of there clean, and a fast or a flat sweep does help me to do that, to sweep and then fire. But I have to kind of hurry up when I drift up to cast. So if I go sweep, then I gotta drift up and fire, and those casts are all real nice. So I'm trying to make my sweep a little shorter so I can get my rod tip there and cast. But I want that all of this stuff that I do, that we talk about and that we practice, the bottom line is we want that anchor perfect. We don't want it laying in a crumple or in a crooked line. I want it as much straight to the target as I can, and as light as possible while still anchoring the cast. I don't want it too heavy, although sometimes you can with these Spey lines. There. So I want to be able to see my target, where my fly line flies to, and I want to see the line to my anchor right out in front of me, coming off in a straight line. So that is the bottom line. What I do with my hands is servant to that. So I still want to keep both my hands out in front, and I want to push with my bottom hand. And so I'm pushing down and pushing. So I'm gonna lift across my body towards the target and then push while I'm rotating. And I want to end up in the key position with a perfect anchor. And I don't know if you guys are on Instagram, but if you're not, you have an opportunity to join Travis Johnson's channel. You can subscribe to it for it's like $5 a month, and you get direct access to Travis. He puts up, he posts, makes videos that aren't to the public, and then you have his ear if you want to ask questions, or he'll comment and stuff. So for just that is nothing to have the ear of arguably one of the best Spey casters in the world right now. IMO, that will be an excellent resource for you. Very inexpensive. Lots of good people on there. So anyway, I'm trying to really clean up my anchor, make sure I'm, I don't know if you guys have seen Bruce on Swing the Fly. They have a video of him, and he's talking about sweeping up, stopping, coming up. And I just see if you can find the video of Bruce Cruck. You might have to subscribe to Swing the Fly, but you definitely want to take advantage of these low cost to consumer products out there. I'm zero cost to consumer, but you get what you pay for. Anyway, so about casting on my knees, I was pleased that it worked. It helped me with my anchors, helped me anchor the fly line better. Had a few beautiful loops, which that was just there. So, and it's a good way, it isolates, you know, your lower body. And so, you know, when I'm casting long lines, or really any lines except maybe Skagit, I'm always rocking back and forth on the balls of my feet, pushing off with my feet, you know, sweeping, and then pushing off and casting. Well, on my knees, it's really hard to do. The only thing I could really do is rock back and lean forward, which I think that's really good to isolate your lower extremities like that. And anyway, I think that really is a helpful drill. And then that way you can practice in a little bit different casting and fishing situation without wearing your waders. Like if you have to go to work, or you don't want to wear your waders, or, you know. So that was a perfect cast because the anchor was perfect. Keep my hands well in front of me, rotate this top hand as much as possible, push with my bottom hand as much as possible so I'm not pulling back. I can tell when I cast, I can tell at the end of my sweep if I'm using too much top hand and I'm pulling back like this. See, I got away with that, but it wasn't a good loop. Everything just got out of whack. For me especially, it really helps keep my hands out here like Zach Williams. Then I get my good anchor. Rod tip keeps going up until the key position. And you know, it could be just because I've done it so much, I can tell when I'm getting out of whack, out of shape. So, lift. And then that way, if I keep that rod tip going up, I feel like a little bit all the Scandi stuff I do has helped, because for Scandi, I'm going like that. I'm rotating all the way around like this. And in the past, I have been too flat, and I notice on some of my casts, I kind of end up casting sidearm and not really even drifting into position. It's like I lift, sweep, and then keep everything out there and cast. I think it's better to maybe keep the rod tip canted out a little bit for sure, but not as much as I have in the past. I think a little more upright position will help. So my anchor was way back there. That is a way of ensuring my anchor, that I'm not coming in too fast and flat. But I would watch everything Geir Hansen. I would watch all of Geir Hansen's casting videos. He's got great form, great technique. He holds like world record. He's great. So boom. anchor is everything. So I'm not going to get on my knees today because there's a lot of snow on the ground. And I can't video my loops today because there's the snow, you know. Snow's too light and the line doesn't show up. But if you can get that anchor to set, the top leg of your D-loop's going to be clean and have a lot of energy going out the end of the line to make it turn over. Same thing for the snake roll. I don't want to get back here like this. I mean, you can start out that way if you want, but just to get the idea, snake roll, I want everything out in front. One more thing though about, and Travis talked about this on his live feed with Bruce last week. So we're trying to keep the bottom leg of the D-loop off the water, but if you come at it too steep, you can either throw the anchor behind you or bounce the anchor. If your sweep is too steep and just the tip is anchored, you can blow the anchor or it can skip out and bounce, which isn't always ideal. But if you do come in a little bit steeper, you might find that your anchor is cleaner. Now snake roll, I still want everything out in front of me.